My name is Bhaskar Sunkara. I'm the founding editor and publisher of Jacobin magazine. I'm also a vice chair of the Democratic Socialists of America. I joined DSA almost, actually more than 10 years ago when I was just 18. The organization was super small back then. We had maybe 5,000 members. We weren't that relevant. Things have really changed the last couple of years, especially with the Bernie Sanders campaign and the aftermath of the Trump election. People are getting really politicized. They're angry about things. They're looking for political solutions. And right now we're at 25, almost 26,000 members. So it's really good to be at this convention and try to, see what direction DSA will be in and hopefully create a movement that not only exists as kind of a subculture or a kind of something on the fringes of American political life, but something that can profoundly change American politics. I think people kind of think that democratic socialism is a dead tradition. I would say that as long as we are living in a kind of an antisocial system, as long as we're living in a system in which a few people own and control the goods and the services that the rest of us rely on, I think there will always be kind of a need for a movement pushing for a more radical democracy.
Every time that we demand resources for human need instead of human destruction, we are demanding divestment from the military-industrial complex. Every time we do that.
And we as socialists, we can't get anywhere unless we rebuild the labor movement and rebuild a layer of militant and politicized worker activists.
We don't need more upper middle class white kids in universities. We need more working class people of all races in universities.
Part of that vision involves calling for a strategy that can crush the claws of capitalism. And I believe the strategy must be liberation for our undocumented comrades.
Paul said that he's never seen this many socialists in the room, and it's scary, and he's right, it's scary. To the fucking bosses!
If you actually have strength and support, you seem relevant, and also especially if all the other major political groups in the country are discredited, there is that space to put forward broader ideas. I think a lot of the role that Jack plays with DSA is indirect. I think we're both definitely feeling off the same discontent that people are feeling about their lives. People are looking for political solutions. They've tried just about everything else over the last 50 years, so now we're kind of back to democratic socialism. We're putting forward social solutions and putting forward that as at least a pole of opinion that was, for the longest time forbidden. You couldn't go further than Jon Stewart, it felt like, 10, 15 years ago.
Why do we have to fight? The two of you, can't we just say something nice about John Kerry right now?
I like John. I care about John Kerry.
And something about President Bush.
He'll be unemployed soon.
I think because of Jacobin, we're playing a role pushing the boundaries further and further left.
Everybody jump on socialism train. Everybody jump on socialism train. Everybody jump on socialism.
We can't just be a media event. We can't just recruit people in ones and twos on the internet. But, this is a start. At this point, we have to be honest, and American socialism still doesn't have deep social roots in working class communities. We're still a far cry from where we were even just 100 years ago. The Socialist Party in the U.S. peaked at around 120,000 members. At that point, the population in the U.S. was roughly 120 million. So, in other words, even to reach that peak, which is still short of a mass movement, DSA would have to add 300,000 members to proportionally reach that level. And that's not to mention the fact that the Socialist Party was drawing on kind of sociologically kind of deeper working class roots, well grounded in certain communities and the Lower East Side and certain parts of the Upper Midwest and the Oklahoma and Nevada. There were certain areas that were real hotbeds. So not all that's to be kind of pessimistic. It is to say that we need to both be excited about what we're able to do, but also realize how woefully insufficient it is for how great the challenges ahead of us are. Unity isn't that important. What's important is that you create structures that can handle difference and that can, keep an organization moving together along kind of a path. And I think certain things will be resolved in the long run. So really the thing that I'm looking for at this convention, just people putting forward ideas and us being able to have kind of debate and discussion to decide our strategic, our tactical priorities and so on, while still maintaining a big tent. I think one of the great things about DSA is that it's not a monolith. It's something that is big, broad, and actually small d democratic. We're kind of in many ways, we're an anti-authoritarian democratic organization. That's our conception of socialism, and we do embody a lot of those values, I think, in how the organization actually functions. We left, I think, a really great tradition in the U.S. People like Martin Luther King called himself a democratic socialist. Bayard Rustin, A. Philip Randolph, Mother Jones. You could kind of go down the list of reformers who identified with various stripes of socialism.
Not everyone will relate to Marx as a gatekeeper to socialism. Frankly, Marx knew nothing about being a brown woman, but Frida Kahlo did. Frida, the original Chingona, said she found her humanity through communism.
There are different trends within socialism, but, I believe in a broad ecumenical version of the label. I mean, anyone who's fighting for a better world, who's fighting for justice and freedom and democracy for people, if they call themselves socialists, the more the better. I don't care whether they come out of the liberal movement. I don't care whether they come from further left movements. If they are committed to those goals and reforms in the here and now and a vision of a better future, then please call yourself a socialist.
Anti-capitalista.